WWE Smackdown. I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there are times when I watch WWE Smackdown and I just sit and I wonder, what are they doing from night to night? Like, the show that I watch on Tuesdays most times is just night and day ahead of the shows that I watch on Mondays. And it just has me thinking, what is the difference? Is the third hour that big a difference? Because I don't think it is. I've seen Monday Night Raw, 3-hour Monday Night Raw that have been enjoyable to watch, but for the most part, they aren't. SmackDown, they keep it simple for the most part. SmackDown has its stinkers every now and again, but they keep it simple. And for the most part, last night was kept simple and the show was really good. It didn't start off in the greatest of ways. I'm about to get into that right now. So we started off with Paige. She brought out Shane McMahon as the best in the world. I love the England crowd. They booed the crap out of Shane McMahon. They booed him taking a picture with the trophy. I thought it was tremendous. Thank you, England. You speak on behalf of all of the world. Thank you. Shane does not represent us. So Shane tried to smooth it over, but it will, whatever. The crowd wasn't having it. He introduced the captain of the men's Survivor Series team. It was Daniel Bryan. And I have my own complaints about the importance or lack of importance of Survivor Series, but I'll save that for a later date. So Bryan came out, he thanked the crowd, he thanked Shane, and the Miz barged his way down and said that he should be the captain because he is one half of the best of the world. And Shane McMahon quickly said, you know what, you got a point. So you're the captain too. So it's like, really? And then he announced that they would be co-captains for the Survivor Series team. So that segment was not the greatest of segments. Decent at best. At least we got some kind of build towards Survivor Series, so I appreciate that. Afterwards, Daniel Bryan and The Miz was backstage. The Miz talked about his first pick for the Survivor Series team. He said that it would be Shane McMahon. Shane did not want to be on the team, but then Daniel Bryan agreed, said that Shane had the most on the line, and you just gotta be kidding me. Shane McMahon just weasels his way into these big matchups. Like, can we stop it with Shane McMahon? If I'm not mistaken, he was in the match last year, and if I'm not mistaken, this is going straight off the top of my head, I think he was the last one eliminated. I could be wrong about that, but I know for sure he was one of the last ones eliminated in the Survivor Series matchup last year. So, sheesh, man, give Shane a break or get him out of there. Man, sick of that. But moving on, we got to the good stuff of the show. The Usos versus the New Day. Winners would be the captain for the Survivor Series tag team, SmackDown Survivor Series tag team in the Survivor Series, excuse me. So, what I thought we would have here was a run-of-the-mill opening match that didn't go for that long, but was a decent enough opening match. I was wrong. This match went really long to say it was an opening match. Normally, the Raw opening matches lately have gone on for really long. SmackDown matches not so much. They don't really go on for really long. They don't really have two commercial breaks. This one had two commercial breaks in it. It was a fantastic match. We had so many spots. It was just a classic Usos versus the New Day match. If you give them time, those brothers are going to knock it out of the park every time. And they did it again last night. We had so many great spots. We had Kofi Kingston with I don't even know if he has a name for it, this jump off the top rope and spin. And it is just a phenomenal maneuver. Landed on both of the Usos. Just looked even more incredible on slow motion replay. Another phenomenal spot was Big E in that spear. I don't know if it was Jimmy or Jay that he hit with that spear to the outside. That is a dangerous move, but made even more dangerous when you look at the replay and you see that one of the Usos, whether it was Jimmy or Jay, hit his head on the announce table. That was sick. And it was just a phenomenal match. At the end of the match, Jimmy would head up and hit the splash on Kofi. The Usos would pick up the win. I loved every bit of this. We even had, after the match, Usos pay respect to the New Day. They named them as their first tag team partners in the Survivor Series. So we'll see how the teams pan out for the SmackDown side of things. This was a phenomenal match. This is a great way to start the build for Survivor Series. So The Miz was on the phone backstage, and he was interrupted by Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan said he wanted Rey Mysterio on his team. The Miz said that if Rey Mysterio impressed him tonight, that he would be on the team. We would have a match later on with Rey Mysterio and Andrade Almas. We'll get to that fantastic match later. But after that, Becky Lynch came down. She talked about her match with Ronda Rousey. Talked about who does Ronda Rousey think that she is. To talk about the champ. She said that, yes, she wasn't handpicked like Ronda Rousey, but she's the champ. The champ is here. So Becky Lynch said that she was the baddest woman on the planet and that she was fired up. She wanted a match, and she was met with Sanity's music, and surprise, surprise, Nikki Cross came down. And I don't know if this is a call-up or a one-time thing, but I loved every bit of it. Nikki Cross said that she wanted to fight Becky Lynch, and so we had ourselves a match, non-title match, Becky Lynch versus Nikki Cross, and it was a fantastic segment. The match was fantastic as well. Didn't get a whole lot of time, but what I did like about the match was that Nikki Cross, it wasn't some just glorified squash to make Becky Lynch look good. Nikki Cross got in a lot of stuff, and I enjoyed the match. You know, it was what it was supposed to be. Nikki Cross looked really good. Becky Lynch got the tap out win with the disarmor, and a good first showing for Nikki Cross. I don't know if she's going to be on SmackDown long term. I don't know if it's a call up. I don't know if it's a one-time deal, one shot deal. We'll see. But a fantastic match, a fantastic segment. All parties looked good involved. Becky Lynch picked up the win. So after that, we had Bryan and Miz backstage again. They got a lot of segments tonight. It was very tiring. It got very tiring at a point, to be quite honest. But Daniel Bryan said that he would pick Jeff Hardy tonight for his final spot for the Survivor Series men's team. And the Miz picked Samoa Joe. They made a stipulation that their final two men would face off to get the final spot in the Survivor Series men's team. So we would have that match set up for later on tonight. But after that, we had Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Almas. And man, this was a low-key banger, baby. I loved every bit of this match. Personally, on a personal level, I'm the type that if we have a first-time matchup, like a real decent, close to dream first-time matchup, I want it to be built up. I want this thing to be really built up, and then we can have a match. I hate when they throw these first-time matchups away on a Raw, on a SmackDown, and I didn't like it here. I didn't like that they threw it away on SmackDown here. But as for the match, we got a good one. Just some great spots. The back elbow that Almas hit Rey Mysterio with, that was borderline dangerous. And I'm like, man, Andrade, man, take it easy on Rey. Sheesh, what a back elbow that was, man. But a phenomenal match at a spot when Rey Mysterio went for the Hurricane Rana to the floor but got slammed into the barricade. My goodness, that was another phenomenal spot. And I think the best spot of the night was when Almas went for the double jump moonsault and got hit with the knees from Rey Mysterio. Just a phenomenal match. The match would end as Rey Mysterio picked up the 619 for the win. And this is something that I really hope they go back to. It won't be a first time matchup anymore, but still in all, I really hope that we see Rey Mysterio and Andrade Almas more. Give us a backstory to it. Make some kind of backstory up to it. Andrade looked up to Rey Mysterio for all of his life. Just something like that. And we could have a phenomenal storyline, phenomenal match once again. So moving on. We had Orton come down after Rey Mysterio picked up the win. He RKO'd Rey Mysterio and he just went to the back. Orton just showing up out of nowhere with an out of nowhere RKO. And after that, we had Miz and Daniel Bryan arguing backstage. and it was announced that Rey Mysterio would indeed be on the Survivor Series men's team. And we would move on to AJ Styles. AJ Styles has a matchup with Brock Lesnar coming up at Survivor Series. I'm going to get into the importance of that match later on in a later date, but AJ Styles said that he was happy to be back in Manchester. This is where his title run started, and now he's rewarded with a match against Brock Lesnar. I gave Brock Lesnar props, talked about how he gave it all he had last year, but he said that this year it would be different because he will beat Brock Lesnar, and that wasn't a prediction, it was a spoiler. I'm really hoping they go down that route with AJ Styles. We'll see at Survivor Series. But moving on, we had Paige come down to announce the SmackDown women's team for Survivor Series. She named Sonya Deville, Naomi, Asuka, Carmella, and she went to name Charlotte, but we did not get a entrance from Charlotte. She did not come down. Instead, Mandy Rose came down. Said that she was an upgrade from the blonde that Paige ordered. And she wants to know why she didn't get a spot over Sonya Deville. She had a valid point. She eliminated Sonya Deville in the Evolution Battle Royal, so she has a valid point. She then talked about Carmella, Asuka, and she went at Naomi for her husband, and then Naomi's fist went at her, and then we had ourselves a big old brawl. So it ended with Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose standing off. Mandy Rose exited out of the ring. We'll see what takes place. Now, this is the build toward the women's team for Survivor Series, and solid at best segment. We'll see what happens with Charlotte. I like what they're doing with Charlotte. Charlotte is somewhere depressed that she's lost to Becky Lynch, and she really hasn't gotten over it. That's the vibe I'm getting, that the story that they're telling. We'll see how it all turns out later. So as for the main event, we had Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy. A good match, but I gotta say that I hate when they have feuding guys on the announce table. Like, one guy is enough you bring to the announce table, he's talking about the match, but when you have feuding guys going at it, it can get difficult because you got two guys trying to get in their opinion, and The Miz and Daniel Bryan was on commentary, and you had two guys trying to get in their opinions on their picks, and you leave very little room for the announcers to do their work. And you miss the moments to where Jeff Hardy would go for a twist of fate, and Phillips is trying to just jump in while somebody else is arguing. It is just a very topsy-turvy type of thing to do when you got four guys at the announce. Well, actually 5 guys at the announce table, all trying to get in opinions. So from here on in, I really wish they would have had The Miz and Daniel Bryan just sit ringside, and that would have taken care of all of that. But to the match, I was a decent enough main event. I enjoyed it very much. Very good action going on in the main event. It would end as Jeff Hardy went for this one time, but Samoa Joe would hit him with the knees and knock on the Coquina Clutch for the win. Very good match, very good main event. Now, afterwards, Samoa Joe got in Daniel Bryan's face. Daniel Bryan wouldn't have any of it. He went at Samoa Joe, and then The Miz went at Daniel Bryan, and then they started going at it. Then Shane McMahon came down. Daniel Bryan hit him with a back fist. On accident, that is. Then Daniel Bryan went out of the ring, and then that's how we would end the scene. So, SmackDown overall, phenomenal. I enjoyed every bit of it. The opening segment was meh, but as we build towards Survivor Series, I thought they did a lot of things to build towards Survivor Series. So I'll be very interested to see how it all plays out going forward. I loved every bit of it. Let me know what you thought about SmackDown, the show last night, and Survivor Series. What do you think about Survivor Series pay-per-view? Are you looking forward to most? Whether that be on YouTube or on Twitter at OMGCoreyB and at 2SweetPod. Let me know your thoughts. I am out.